Well, all right, guys, I'm back. I got a box made in Ukraine, which I don't think I've ever had on this channel before. But it has been said before that I should check out something by BPS Knives, and I kind of forgot about it. And then as I was looking for something else on Amazon, this popped up. When I had no idea Made in Ukraine was a thing, by the way. I didn't even know until I got the box. But I saw this knife, and I said, I want to check that out. It looks interesting. There's actually a few different ones by BPS that I wanted to check out. I don't know what BPS stands for, even. But, attention, sealed! There's also attention sealed. And by different, so I guess this is like, I don't know, these are different numbers. But anyway, there's a few different, they have a few different knives that I was interested in looking at. So attention, unsealed. And I said, the hell with it. I'm going to check it out. And so this didn't come from Ukraine. This came from Amazon. Saran wrap packaging. Nice. Literally saran wrap packaging. Okay. And wow, this is all kinds. So this is printed on a napkin. Listen, I'm not judging anything about Ukraine right now. I'm just glad it's actually here in this country. So leather sheath, and oh, it smells good. And this sheath looks just like the one that comes with the Tarava Jacare Puko, except it is in brown leather, but looks pretty good quality. Smells pretty good quality. Now we're gonna take this one outside. We're gonna do a whole video with this. We're not just gonna do a little unboxing and tabletop review, because I wanna, well, first of all, I wanna actually unwrap it. There we go. Okay. What is that? What is all that? Is that oil? That is oil. Oh, I know why it comes with a napkin now. Now it is it 1060? High carbon? What is going on with that finish? It's alright, I'm gonna scrub it clean. Although I kinda like the whatever's going on there. Reminds me of a frog. I cannot remember the actual steel off the top of my head. I believe it's 1060. But online it had such a beautiful finish, but I kind of like that though. I'm sure that it'll all homogenize itself as we go. Yeah, that's cleaning up. Oh, it's cleaning up and it's polishing. That's pretty damn nice now. All right, so yeah, it's just some leftover oil on it. But you know what? That's fine. That's fine. You guys know how I am about blade finishes and how I want them to be pretty and shiny. I don't know how long it's been sitting in that oil, and I don't know how boring this is for you guys with my obsessive need for blades to be shiny. But anyway, that's very nice. It's very lovely. Okay, so there we go. So mostly done. So yeah, this is one model of their Bushcraft knives. Now I picked this one because it has that nice swoop curved belly. They have ones that look much more like a traditional Mora, which I'll probably check out next. What is that? Does that have like Bondo in it? What is going on there? That must be some more grease or something. I don't know what that is over there, but I don't like it. So I'm a little unimpressed with the way it's shown up, to tell you the truth, and I'm hoping that as we get going with it, it will perform well. I'm super thrilled it's not from China, because I had no idea it was, you know, made in the Ukraine. And I don't know if it says that in the product listing or not, but it, you know, in terms of size, it's about the same as a Mora. Wood handle scales, I'm wondering if we can take those off and replace them. I don't know. I think all the ones that they had that I saw were wood handle scales. Love the finish on the blade though. Very, very nice. Again, like I said, 1066. 1066, the Battle of Hastings. First military use of the crossbow. Why I remember stuff like that, I have no idea. Decent jimping there, not too aggressive, but it feels nice. Handle is very comfortable. Initially, you know, I felt the grain here. I feel like on some other knives, this would be, I don't know, maybe they'd go just a few grits higher on the sanding. And that's something that you could do very easily with like some 2000 grit. But it's not rough. It's not like there's no splinter chance or anything, but I feel like some other companies would give you just a slightly smoother handle. On the other hand, I feel like you might get a little bit grippierness with it. This has a slightly rougher feel and look, rougher in terms of slightly less refined, like just a hair less refined than some other knives that I've had. If you were to take this thing out in the field and really use it, it would get some wear and tear on it and some life on it. So, I mean, it's neither here nor there. You have a nice 90-degree edge on the spine for sparking. So that's cool to know. And again, that really beautiful finish. Nice thick blade stock too. Give you some good strength. And Scandi grind, which I probably also mentioned already, which is just a classic Bushcraft blade grind to have. Lots of strength, lots of nice cutting power. Let's see out of the box. Wow, oh, that is... Okay, any other complaint I just had, gone. Because that is so smooth, I cannot even... Is that... It feels almost a little convex there. I wonder if it's got like a micro bevel on there. Also, I don't know. It has a slightly convex feel to it. Let's give it... Haven't done 550 quarter on a knife in a while, but let's give it a slice. I couldn't even slice. It just went right through. Let's give it a pull through. No resistance whatsoever. I'm going to do the slice again to see if the blade moves or if it just... The blade doesn't even move. It just cuts... Wow. That is so sharp. I mean, that is beautifully finished. That edge. I mean, that is out of the box. I hate that oil. I want to... Oh... I mean, there I am saying like, oh, it's okay if it gets a little messed up because blah, 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 it's a field knife, and I'm going crazy over the blade not being shiny. Because I'm an idiot most of the time. But man, that edge out of the box is just perfect. Perfect. And it is really comfortable. When I was doing the core, well, not there's any resistance to feel on my hand, but I mean, love the curvature there. Just feels perfect. No hot spots at all that I can feel, and even with big hands, very, very comfortable. You don't really have a pommel, so to speak of, but the way it's set up, so you got your lanyard hole here, and you could do a little bit of light pounding if you needed to, which is nice. I like the blade length, really like the blade length. Like I said, I'd compare the blade length to your average Mora, so, you know, nothing special there, but in terms of the weight with the shape of the blade and everything, it feels pretty good. You can get yourself a little bit of a chop. It's not a chopper, it's a Bushcraft knife, but you have just that little tiniest bit of forward heavy weight. Feels good. Now the sheath is all friction, so nothing to hold it in like mechanically, but good retention, and then easy to withdraw. My one concern, as always with all, you know, friction retention leather type sheets, is that you might run your edge along the leather and cut it, but that's just par for the course. That's part of the game. You can carry this 2 different ways. This is all obvious, but I'm just pointing it out. So belt loop through here for a little bit lower carry, or you can just let that hang down and belt loop there for a little higher up on your hip. A little dangly this way, but so to just sum up again, while it's not the most perfectly refined tool I've ever had my hands on, it feels like it's got some real nice potential to it. It really reminds me of Condor knife and tool. They don't always look the fanciest, but damn, they are good practical cutting tools, you know? So I'm hoping that when we take this outside and give it a little real life use, a little testing, it will provide for us and do really well. So why don't we get the camera unmounted from here? Let's throw it on a tripod. Let's go outside and let's see how this handles some actual some light chopping, some branches, some field stuff. Let's go. All right, outside, back for some hot stump action, which we haven't seen in a while. So Stumpy's still good, still here. Now overnight, I guess that oil had a chance to kind of evaporate off a little bit and dry, and mostly anyway. But we've got just a beautiful finish on that blade, which we're probably going to mess up a little bit now. We have a freshly cut little bit of branch here that we can work with to check out what this thing can do. And I've got a ferro rod ready for us as well. We'll do some light tasks first. Let's see. Just want to, push right through this little guy right here. And I'll cut this right down. Very comfortable to use. I mean, it skins the bark like nothing on this little guy. I mean, we can do real fine cuts. Real fine cuts. With that. Little teeny tiny, I mean, I'm trying to even pick it up just to show for the camera. Little teeny tiny fine cuts, which will probably come in handy for some fire starting later on. But like, you know, you can just shave that beautifully. Again, this edge, as we saw with the paper and the 550 cord, super sharp and refined out of the box. And it makes all sorts of nice little curly Q cuts. In terms of bigger stuff, so it gives you enough power to cut right into larger things if we wanted to use it for notching. My hand slides just a little bit upwards. I'm not holding it very firmly though, but that works pretty well. Let's see, a little bit of chop. Yeah, handle lets you have pretty good control. Not the most comfortable handle out there. There are some that I prefer maybe just a little bit thicker on there, but like I said, with the forward weight of the curve and the swoop on that belly, you get some nice leverage. For some light chopping stuff, you know, I wouldn't consider it, like I said before, I wouldn't consider it a chopper, but you know, enough to do some good work there. Just get this off. There we go. Okay, it's actually a relatively clean cut just for chopping. Again, if we were you were gonna feather stick with this. Now this is, like I said, this is a freshly cut piece, so this is a little bit wet. I don't know if we would light this right away, but doable, definitely doable. I'm really happy with how much control you have with this edge, this very nice convex edge. If you want to do these very thin little cuts, or you really want to put some pressure and get into the meat of the wood, you can do either one. Now to continue on this, if we wanted to, can we make something a little spear point-like with this? We have that kind of control. Ah, the P51s are taken off. That's actually not a P51, that's a King Air. But whatever. Yeah, nice control. Look how pointy we made that. Let's do that thing we're not supposed to do with knives too much, but we do anyway. Wow, this is very nice. Of course, I positioned it like an idiot. The leverage-wise, it wanted to go right down that curve, so let's put it a little bit more towards the rear. It is splitting this little tiny, I mean, it's a little branch, but it's, you know, it's the kind of thing that you might cut off with this knife. And I don't know if you guys noticed that, but there's the curve in this wood, and just, it was very easy for me to just put a little bit of leverage back and forth to follow the curve of this, rather than have it just shoot out the edge, you know, as I was batoning, to follow the complete curve of the wood. I haven't been able to do that with a whole lot of other knives, and that could just be a me problem, but very easy to maneuver this as it was going. We've got a little markup on the blade, but not too much. I really love the finish on the blade, which is the only reason I'm harping on that. I think it looks really nice. Let's gather some of this together, because it's still a little bit wet. So I don't know if this is going to actually burn for us, but what I really want to do is just test how well that edge throws sparks. And if we can get a little burn going, you know, great. But it does have, like I said, inside that 90-degree edge. This is a Mora. It's a Mora ferro rod, comes with the Mora Bushcraft. So should be, it's a decent rod, we know that. Oh, I got myself. That's never happened before. But you can see that this edge really does strike the rod well. And with this wood being very wet, I'm not surprised that we're not actually starting anything, but we are getting some really good sparks off this. Yeah. Definitely, I think if this had time to dry out, and like I said before, I knew this was going to happen. It's still, you can feel that it's damp. So, we haven't done a whole lot of beating on it, but I do want to see if doing, after some basic tasks, we still have that beautiful edge on it that we had before. Let's give it just a little bit more. Now, I mean, I can still do very easily those little squiggly cuts, the little curly Q ones. I mean, like nothing. So, to make your tinder, and then to start doing kindling cuts and everything like that, no problem. And then we can do the deeper cuts, no problem still. But let's go back in and let's see if it still wants to cut the cutting money as beautifully and easily as it did before. So, back inside. Ready to test that edge again, just to see if it's as smooth. And I can feel just a slight difference, honestly. We also have a little bit of resistance there, some stuff. It's not anything that is like terrible. It's not something that is, I won't say that it's hard. there's just a little bit of resistance. Slightly more than there was before, but you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to try to clean some of this off the edge, off the blade, and see if that helps. If that returns us to that beautifully smooth cutting that we had. So this is just a little bit of acetone to try to remove the residue that was on the blade from cutting through that brand new wet wood. And it does look a lot cleaner. And yeah, that's all it was. It was just a little bit of sticky, sappy residue on the blade. It is still, I mean, I think razor sharp would actually be an insult to this thing. Zero resistance cutting through 550 with the pull through. This is a beautiful edge. Now, I granted, again, I know we didn't do, listen, I didn't do like real hard use. I didn't torture test this. I did some very basic outdoor tasks that you might do with a bushcraft type knife. Let's face it, there are also some knives in this kind of, in this realm where that edge would have already shown some wear. You know, it all goes down to the type of steel and the heat treat. And oh, you know, it's funny. After I did that, we're getting some of the. We can see some of that. It's interesting. Some of that. Anyway, it goes down to the type of steel and the heat treat and the edge geometry and the grind on it. But I think that this has done pretty well, especially in the comfort. You know, I really liked it. I really liked using it. A little more expensive than your average Mora, but you are getting a full tang knife. You are getting actual wood scales. You're getting, I believe, I want to say, and you know, I can't quote, a slightly thicker billet. It has a look that there is some handmade, you know, handmade quality to this. I could be completely wrong, but it looks like it's not all just punched out on a water jet and stuff like that. You know, it looks like there's some finishing to it. So I'm excited to try another BPS, one of their more traditional, you know, Scandi grind looking knives. So my first question is, if I were to try another BPS and put it through some of the same similar tests and maybe a little bit more, which model would you guys want to see me try? What do you think would be good to test out as the next one? I just was really into this blade shape, which is why I picked this one. What would you guys like to see next on the channel? And what would you like to see more of this one? Would you like to see me go a little bit harder on this particular one, in addition to another one that we try? I know, like I said, I know that there's some of you who have said, check out a BPS, and you guys are spot on. This is a nice knife. It's a good size. I think that those of you who are into fixed blade EDC would also enjoy this one. It's not too big. That's a big thing for me. I think fixed blades in the EDC realm often are just a little too small or way too big. I think that this one, not that I am a fixed blade EDC guy, but I think this one's a good size and weight. Compared to a Rat 1, it's just a little bit bigger than a Rat 1, not too big. Good size for general tasks and stuff. So yeah, I'd love to know your opinions, and I'd love to hear from other BPS owners and users. Do you like this one? Do you have this one? Is there another model that you have that you really like? So please, let's talk about it. Let's hear your opinions, and remember that you guys are all absolutely awesome, and I appreciate every single one of you, and I'll be back again real soon.